recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivia Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivia Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivia Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and I am here today with Nick Groves. Hello, Nick.
Hello, Jonathan.
I'm glad that you're here, my friend.
I am also glad to still be here.
Yes, we are going to have a fun game today. Did you know that Will Dennison is with us today?
I did.
Yes, Will is here. Hello, Will.
Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
I am fabulous, and it is good to see you. Troy Cooper is with us today. Hello, Troy.
Hello. Good to be here.
Hello. And Michael Sly is with us today. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hello. So I want to get to know all of you a little bit better. We're going to start with Will. Will, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Well, sure. My name is Will Dennison. I am an attorney. I live about 60 miles northwest of Chicago. Something fun about me, I am a movie star of 2 feature films, and I am also a Catholic defense attorney ninja, which basically makes me Daredevil.
All of that is true.
Yes, except you're not Daredevil, you're Kingpin. I can see it all over your face.
I said basically the attributes. I agree I look way more like Kingpin than I do like Daredevil.
You have the mind of Daredevil and the body of Kingpin.
I've got the body of Kingpin, that's for sure.
I love it. Yeah, now you're a handsome man. Kingpin is a handsome man. He's super strong. He got all the good stuff there.
He did.
We are super glad you're here.
And he can see, which helps.
He can. So do you want to tell people the names of the feature films that you have participated in? Sure.
Actually, one of them I think will have been released by the time this episode comes out.
Nice.
One of them is called Chi-Town Thunder Fist.
Yes.
It is a 70s style kung fu movie that is just awful. It is so bad it's good.
Yeah.
And the other is called By Sword or By Fire, and it is an action fantasy kind of along the lines of the Hobbit movies.
All right.
Which one did you choose?
Which one did I choose?
Sword or Fire?
Sword or by fire.
Oh, by sword.
That's the obvious
barbarian
choice.
warlord that took over the kingdom, killed the old king, and tried to marry his widow.
Oh, okay. No, don't tell me the whole plot.
Oh, that's just the beginning. The movie starts with that.
Oh, good.
It starts with, this awesome guy just killed everybody and now rules the world. And then there's some stupid upstart barbarian that tries to take me down, but he's the villain.
Why? Why would they try and take you down? This is awful.
So when I was reading lines for that movie, in case you guys don't know, I am absolutely the villain in both movies. And I was running lines of the By Sword or By Fire, but I kept telling all my kids that I'm the hero. I'm the good guy. And my youngest is listening, and she comes up to me one day and she goes, "Dad, I think you're the bad guy." Yeah, I am.
I love it. That's amazing. All right. Well, Will, it's great to have you here. Troy, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Hey, everyone. I'm Troy. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, and I am an associate professor in the School of Information Science here at the University of Kentucky. Something fun about myself. I was asking my wife what I should say for this the second time around. Mm-hmm. And being that it's at least at the time of recording, it is Derby Day, I should tell my horse story. So when I was, one of my very earliest memories in life I was a toddler, and I remember getting kicked in the head by a horse.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
It's audio medium here, but I have a huge scar across my forehead. And the fun part about all this is that I always, with my students, I always tell them at the beginning of every semester that I have this huge scar on my forehead. Usually my hair is cut and, not sloppy like this, and so they can see it. And I make them guess what it's from.
How many guess Voldemort?
None yet, surprisingly, especially with this demographic. But I've had everything from, brain surgery to falls and that sort of thing. I always like to joke that it's my lobotomy scar. So
yes.
How many people in the audience have had brain surgery? Because I can think of at least
one.
3 or 4.
Oh, okay. I can think of 2. Will's raising his hand.
Yeah, Brian McClure's had brain surgery twice. I mean, that's 3 right off the top of my head. It seems like an odd demographic to have a large number of.
I have a lightning bolt shaped scar on the right side of my head where my skull was cut into in one of my surgeries growing up.
Oh my God. Nick, by the way, Brian McClure having 2 different brain surgeries is not 2 different people having brain surgeries. You're still
I am
at 2.
aware. Will and Troy said that he just had brain.
No, he
brain
said
surgery.
that he jokes that.
Oh, okay. I thought he
got kicked in the head by a horse.
my students sometimes guess that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So that's 2 then. That's
It's
not
the
quite
same
a
2
large
you
enough
always
number.
knew.
Yeah, fine. Whatever. Shut up.
He's good at listening. His wife loves his ability to listen.
I had a lot of stitches very near to my brain, but not brain surgery.
There we go. All right. Well, Troy, it's awesome to have you here today. And Michael, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Hi, my name is Michael Sly. I'm an attorney as well out in the San Francisco Bay Area. Yeah, for some reason, it's like the most common profession of listeners, it seems like. Every time someone's on a show, it's like, oh, another attorney. But something fun about me. I met my fiance, online, not really interesting there, but we met on a mutual lie. Neither of us actually lived where we said we lived. So it was not quite catfishing, I'd say, but like almost. So I told her, she said, I have to confess, I don't actually live where my profile says I live. And I said, oh, that's fine. I don't either. I live about 100 miles away. And she said, oh, well, I live in Paris.
Whoa.
So that was a bit of a shock to me. But we kept talking, and a couple months later, I decided to fly out. And she was finishing up her master's degree, so I went to her graduation gala, and we had a date at the Eiffel Tower. It was super romantic. Maybe the only good story I have.
If you have your first date in Paris, how do you top that?
Yeah, right?
You don't.
Where do you go from there?
You just don't.
You have your honeymoon at the county fair. Duh.
Hey, fried Oreos for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but hold on. I mean, I got to dig into this a little bit. A, why would you lie about being 100 miles away? Because that's going to make dating very difficult. B, why would she lie if she's in a whole different continent?
So we were both kind of window shopping. I was looking for an apartment in Oakland, and I was still living at my dad's house about 100 miles away, but I was commuting to work. It was a very long commute.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I was thinking, I gotta find, something when I land there. Maybe I can have something going already. And so I matched up with her, and she had the same thought, but her timeline was more like 5 months out. So she was truly window shopping.
Ooh, okay. So you're both intending to go to Oakland, and you just wanted to start early because why start a relationship in a place you're not going to be?
Exactly.
I got it. That makes sense. And you're both liars, which is also it's a good point of connection.
It's a lie of love.
That's how he introduced himself. He said, I am also a liar.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. We have this in common.
Strong foundation for a relationship.
Exactly. All right. Well, it is great to have all of you on. We are going to have a blast today, and we're going to get started with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
All right, so today's Warmed Up Chris was inspired and submitted by our friend and recent Counting Sheep winner, Paul McLaughlin.
Oh, thank you,
and
Paul.
I've had this on the books for a while because I haven't hosted for a while. Paul gave me this idea maybe even years ago. I have a list of the top 20 kickers who have the most field goals in NFL history. And I want you to see how many of them you can name. I noticed, I looked at the schedule, I was like, oh, it's an all-guy episode, which is very rare. It's like, I'm going to get y'all with a sports question to start off warming up Chris here. So, NFL top field goal kickers. I have the top 20. I can tell you I'm looking for field goals made. Number 1 has 599. Number 20 has 363. We're going to start with Troy.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, I know very, very little about the NFL, so this is going to be embarrassing. But I do know Adam Vinatieri.
Adam Vinatieri, number 1 with 599. All right, over to Michael.
Thank you. I am blanking so bad. I should know more, but all I could think of was Vinatieri and Sebastian Janikowski.
Sebastian Janikowski is... Oh, let me remember these really
he's gotta be on
here.
that list.
Give me a sec, Nick. I want to number them so I don't have to count every time. Number 11 on the list is Sebastian Janikowski with 436.
All right.
Will, you're next.
I don't think this is a right answer, but I'm going to say it anyway because I love him. This is Robbie Gould. Good as gold.
It is a right answer. Number 8 with 447 field goals.
I knew he'd be close, but I didn't think he would make the cut.
Good job. All right, Nick, you're next.
I'm going to say Anderson. Just so that
I need you to be more specific, please.
Morton Anderson.
Morton Anderson is number 2. I'll give you a bonus cool point if you can spell Anderson correctly.
Which one?
Your answer, Morton Anderson.
It's Andersen.
Yes, Nick gets a cool point, y'all.
That's right. I've got one now.
Yes, it's not worth you cannot redeem it for anything, but you have one.
I have one. It's my only one.
All right, back up to Troy.
That was going to be my answer because it's the only one that I could remember.
But now you don't need to be specific, Troy.
He's right. Now you don't have to be specific.
He was the guy from the Falcons, right?
Morton Anderson was a Falcon and a Saint.
Yeah. Okay. Man. Lucky Johnson.
Norm Johnson. Norm Johnson, number 19 on the list with 366.
Nailed it.
That's amazing. Michael, you're up.
All right, Michael gets to give me.
Yeah, I know. No more Lucky Johnsons. Okay, let's go David Akers.
Ooh, David Akers, number 15 on the list with 386. Nice job.
All right.
Will, you're up.
All right, I'm not going to let it get back to Nick. I'll say Anderson.
And Gary Anderson, Minnesota Vikings, is correct. Number 3 with 538. All right, Nick, over to you.
I'm going to say the other Patriot kicker, Gostowski.
Steven Gostkowski with 392 is number 14 on the list. I have not received a wrong answer yet. And we're going back up to Troy, who I just set up so wonderfully.
Yes. After I was so confident in my last Lucky Johnson.
Hey, it was a perfect answer. You got one of the harder ones to get, frankly.
Yeah, I don't think I would have gotten Johnson.
For some reason, the name Crosby's coming to mind. Crosby?
All right.
Lucky Crosby?
A Lucky Crosby.
Like a 15-year career.
He puts bricks together, I heard. Right?
Yeah. I can tell you that Stills and Nash are not on here, but Mason Crosby with 395 field goals is number 13 on the list.
There you go.
Nice.
Longtime Green Bay Packer. All right, Michael, over to you.
That was my next guess.
Oh, boy.
So I am just going to go with the best to do it now and hope he has done enough and say Justin Tucker.
That's a good guess.
Number 20 on the list with 363 is Justin Tucker. The streak is alive.
19 and 20 off the list. Those are the hard ones.
Yes.
Like, we should be able to get the rest of them.
I think the hardest name on the list, from my personal viewpoint, I'd say number 6 and number 18 are the hardest remaining on the list. That doesn't help you with them at all.
No.
But
all right. I'll try for number 6.
All right, Will, go for it.
I think he might be on there. And I think you might be teeing this one up for me or maybe towing it up for me. Is it Lou the Toe Groza?
Lou Groza is not on the list.
Oh, all right.
Not on the list. I am sorry, my friend. All right, Nick, over to you.
I'm pretty sure the guy who preceded Tucker, what was his face? Matt Stover?
Number 6 on the list, Matt Stover. That's literally the hardest, one of the hardest ones left.
He had like an 18, 19, 20-year career prior to Tucker coming on.
I mean, a lot of people don't remember that he existed, where the other ones stand out more, at least in my personal opinion.
He's a local boy.
All right. Troy, back up to you.
It's going to be another total guess here. Finkel or Einhorn?
I got some bad news for you. I got some bad news for you.
We'll try Lucky Smith. That seems like a...
Lucky Smith. I'm sorry, there is no Lucky Smith on the board today. All right, Michael, over to you.
I'm going to keep it recent. I'm going to say maybe Nick Folk is up there.
Nick Folk is not on the list.
Oof.
Good try. All right, Will, over to you.
All right, how about Lucky Vanderjagt?
Lucky Vanderjagt's not on the list.
Good guess.
You know what? That's not a bad guess at all.
Didn't play long enough.
Yep. Nick, over to you.
In the aughts, I drafted a lot of Browns kicker Phil Dawson in fantasy football because he was around forever.
Phil Dawson, from 1999 to 2019, had 441 field goals. He is number 9 on the list. Good job.
I'm literally only going off of kickers I've had on my fantasy team over the last 20 years.
It's not a bad strategy. All right, we're going to go around one more time. I can tell you numbers 4, 5, 7, 10, 12, 16, 17, and 18 are all still available for you. And Troy and Michael, I can give you guys, you guys feel like you've hit the end of your rope, I can give you team names, if that will help.
I think I have one.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to start with Troy. Troy, do you want a team name?
You can give it to me. I don't know that it's going to help, but...
How about the Detroit Lions? 20-year career with the Detroit Lions is number 3 on the list.
I thought we got
aren't the Andersons 2 and 3?
Sorry, number 4 on the list.
Come on, Jonathan.
I gotta get my crap together for real.
It's not like you have the list directly in front of you.
I got a lot going on over here, Mr. Groves.
Unless Barry Sanders was a kicker, I'm not going to get that. I'm going to have to go, we'll try Lucky Brown.
Lucky Brown is not on the list. Good try, though.
Bummer.
Even though Phil Dawson, I might have given you credit for Phil Dawson as a Lucky Brown because he was on the Browns for so long.
He was 20 years on the Browns. That's pretty lucky. Or unlucky.
Yeah.
Bad luck is a type of luck.
Michael, you suggested that you might have an answer here.
I'm going to take a Nick strategy and go into my fantasy football brain and say Matt Bryant.
That's a pretty good job. Number 12 at 397, Matt Bryant is a correct answer. That was well done.
Career too, yeah.
Yeah, he was recently, like just a couple years ago, I think he retired.
It's 2019. Okay.
Will, your last guess.
Man, I am tapped. I don't think this is right. I'm going to say Kevin Butler.
Oh no, Kevin Butler's not on the list. Not on the list. Good try though. Nick, you get the last one.
Do I get the last one or more than one? The Detroit Lion that you mentioned had to be Jason Hansen.
It is Jason Hansen. Absolutely. Do you want to try and run the list here? I'll let you go until you miss one.
All right. I'm going to go Broncos kicker Jason Elam.
Number 10 on the list. That's correct.
I'm going to go Broncos kicker Matt Prater.
Number 17 on the list. That is correct.
What was the name of the Panthers kicker during the Super Bowl run? Carney?
That is not the Panthers kicker on the Super Bowl run, but it is the 5th highest on this list. John Carney, which was a long-term
from the
Saint.
He was on the Panthers for a while too.
Number 5 there. That's not the kicker you're thinking of, though.
It was another Casey.
Casey is correct for number 7. John Casey was the Panther you're looking for. You've just knocked out 4, 5, 7, 10, and 17. The only ones left are 16 and 18. And I'll bet you $20 you don't get 18. You get 2 guesses.
So now you're hamstringing me.
Why? I told you have to run the list. As soon as you miss one, you're out.
Sure. How about Miami Dolphin Olindo Mare?
That is incorrect. Incorrect. The only ones that did not get named are a long-time, I believe, New York Jet, Nick Lowry from the 80s and early 90s, had 383.
Nick Lowry.
His name was Nick. You had a chance.
Isn't that Will Smith's character from Bad Boys?
And number 18, the hardest one on the list, Jan Stenerud. Jan Stenerud had 373.
Never even heard of him.
That's I tell you, he's out there. He's a person. He existed. But hey, y'all did a really good job. Well done. That was your Warm It Up, Chris, for today's episode. This is going to be episode number 428. If you're listening to this and you are not a member of the Trivial Warfare Army, why not? You should be going to trivialwarfarearmy.com right now. Sign up as a sergeant or higher to get access to all of our historic episodes. We have a lot in the backlog back there. And you can also sign up as a lieutenant or higher and start earning credit towards coming on the show, which we always love to see you guys on the show. So that's trivialwarfarearmy.com. You can also play along with today's game using the Triviamatic app. Go to your App Store or Play Store, download Triviamatic, hit the Play Now button, and enter this code, 314263. That's 314263. Today's game, it is going to be Michael and Troy versus Will and Nick. Jonathan is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
Round 1, question 1. Your category is Disney Legends. Iconic Disney actor Tommy Kirk is best known for his work on The Shaggy Dog, The Swiss Family Robinson, and what movie, where he got used to playing second fiddle to a canine? If you need me to repeat or paste, I'll be happy to do either.
Oh, that's possible.
Well, unlikely, given the typo.
Sure.
Oh.
I like that you typed that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I like that. Yeah, we should go with that.
Cool.
Are you all going to lock in?
Yes, we'll lock in.
Yep.
All right.
Well, yeah, we're throwing out a whole bunch of stuff. We're talking strictly. Neither one of us have any idea who Tommy Kirk is, so we cannot use the face to match.
Oh wait, was that the guy at Swiss Family Robinson?
Yeah, and he was in Shaggy Dog too, I think.
Okay, I know who he is now.
Oh, okay. Well, then what's the other dog movie?
Question is, one thing we didn't talk about, Nick. Any chance second fiddle is a clue? And if so, what is it referencing?
If it is a clue, wow, is that a good? Like sliding it in so you don't notice it's a clue. Second fiddle.
So that actually...
That's why you thought Beethoven?
It might be why I thought Beethoven, because I started thinking about music. I don't know.
I still think Beethoven was Universal. I kind of see the planet or Columbia.
I have no... I trust you on that. Believe me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't even know if Benji was Disney or not. I don't know.
Yeah, so we started throwing out dog movies. So the first 2 I threw out was either Lassie or Old Yeller. I think Lassie was... it was TV. I don't know that it was Disney. Will then threw out Benji.
I think, to be clear, I threw out Benjo.
You did throw out Benjo, which I said is probably
Benjo
not.
Was his name-o.
Right. Here's the thing. Benji was 80s, right?
I don't know.
I'm going to say Benji was in the 80s because I remember it from my childhood.
Okay, then we should pick Old Yeller because that's an older one.
Yeah, and this guy, Swiss Family Robinson, is 1960s, and Shaggy Dog might have been before Swiss Family Robinson. So Benji is about 20 years older. If you want to pick Old Yeller and go with Old Yeller,
sure.
I'm
it is what it is. We don't know it, so we're just guessing.
All right, so we'll lock in with Old Yeller because that's an old dog movie.
All right, Troy and Michael, what were you guys thinking?
Well, with the fiddle clue in the question, I just was thinking of dog movies, and I think neither of us could really think of many. So I was thinking, who's the second fiddle? That means the dog is the star. So it's either like Air Bud, that can't be right, maybe Beethoven. So we went with Beethoven.
Oh, I'm going to be so upset if it's Beethoven. I'm sorry,
Oh, my goodness. The drama. Now, here's the meat. Second fiddle is not a clue. It is not a clue. It is just Jonathan's descriptive writing style. The biggest clue here is the era that the movies were made in. Shaggy Dog, Swiss Family Robinson were in the golden age, early period of Disney, 50s and 60s. And one of the absolute biggest actors making Disney movies at that time was Tommy Kirk, and he was the star of Old Yeller. Yeah. Old Yeller is the correct answer.
Wow.
Nice, Adam.
Yeah, Beethoven is like early 90s, so it could have been Kirk. I mean, he could have done Beethoven.
He wasn't
but
in the
would've-
1700s?
That's intense. God, I can't believe I just said that.
Nothing better than jokes that the audience doesn't get.
Yes, exactly.
Makes for perfect
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, there's
Will,
no reference.
I'm very happy. I just looked it up. Beethoven is Universal Pictures, so I am remembering that correctly.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's good. That's good.
yeah, it could have been. He could have been like a father in that, but that was like Charles Grodin, I think, was Beethoven.
Yes, right.
Yep.
I didn't think about that. It doesn't really strike me as a Disney movie either. Now that I think about it, but
Yeah, the era was absolutely the key there.
You know what? Second Fiddle, I thought it might have been a clue too. I just didn't know what it took me to.
Yep.
I've seen
for sure.
roughly 5 movies, and they were all made after 1989. So,
Oh man, you got to go back and watch Goonies.
actually, I have seen that one.
Oh, there we
6
go.
movies. Thanks.
All right, well, let's get on around one question
Have
too.
you seen the movie Dumbo?
I don't think so.
You know where that movie takes place?
Really? Are we going there, Nick? Are we going there? All right, Will. Will is hysterically laughing. Do you want to tell your joke, Will? This is the legendary. The poker group guys are well aware of what joke is being made here. Why don't you share it with everybody else?
Sure. So, it doesn't help when you say, and you need to set it up as not a joke for it to work. But
It's not
I'll do
really
my
a joke.
best.
It's not
Don't worry
funny.
about it.
It's not funny even when you don't know.
You guys, I don't know if anybody saw the news this morning, but there was a massive fire at the circus last night. It was intense.
Yes. Now, what makes this funny is that when Will came onto a poker group one night, he told that joke every time a new person joined. He told that joke and laughed hysterically at his own joke.
And I was
At
getting
least-
drunker throughout the night.
And we had like 16 people on the poker chat that night.
At least 10 different times we all heard that joke, and it became funnier and funnier and funnier, and now hopefully it will die.
Oh, it will never die.
Oh my God. All right, round one, question 2. Your category is music.
Music!
One musician whose real name is, I'm going to double check this. My pronunciation is going to be terrible. Abele Makonnen Tesfaye. I'm going to paste it in the chat for you. Was recently proclaimed the most listened to artist in the world in 2023. He was the first artist to reach 100 million monthly listeners on Spotify. So Abel Makonnen Tesfaye. For listeners, it's AbelMakonnen Tesfaye. 3 names.
okay. I think we've got an answer. Is that okay with you?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
good with
we'll go
that.
ahead and lock in.
I love it when these games start so easy with back-to-back gimmies. Makes
Yep.
me feel very good for the rest of the game.
Let's break this down slightly. First artist to reach 100 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Let's go ahead and assume it's a contemporary artist and not somebody who is now no longer alive.
Okay?
So then we get into popular artists on Spotify currently, and I think we get into like the Kendrick Lamars and the Pharrell Williams and Nicki Minaj and the other two, I threw Chance the Rapper, The Weeknd. Just stop me when I throw out something that sounds good.
I promise you I will. Keep going.
Alicia Keys.
Well, I'm going to stop you there because it does say he in the question. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's Alicia Keys.
Oh,
or-
that's
yeah.
probably true. Future.
Honestly, any of these are as good as the others as far as I'm concerned. I have absolutely no idea. The only thing I saw was the Mac in the middle name, which drew me to Macklemore, but you're saying it's definitely not that, and I don't dispute it. Modern music is 100% not my category. It's just not what I know at all. I don't see anything in the name that reminds me of another name, AMT, Tesfaye. I mean, I have no idea. I'm fine with Chance the Rapper. I'm fine with The Weeknd. I don't think it's Psy.
You're the guest on the show. Why don't you pick it?
All right, we'll say Chance the Rapper. That was your first guess.
Okay.
Good enough reason to go with that.
Locked in.
Michael and Troy, over to you.
Yeah, so we same kind of thinking. What's a super mega star right now that doesn't go by their given name? We ended up going the other way, and we said The Weeknd.
Oh, wow. I hope it's not.
It's
I
The
was gonna say
Weeknd
Beethoven.
versus Chance the Rapper. You said you were going to go Beethoven?
Just a guess, the wrong era though.
Again, that's a wrong era. Yeah, Beethoven predates Spotify by a couple of months, I think.
Well, we're still not even sure if it was the late 80s, early 90s, or 1700s.
That's true.
That's true, but we know that this person was named the most listened to artist in the world in 2023, and he was the first to reach 100 million monthly listeners on Spotify. He is better known as The Weeknd.
Nice.
Good job.
Yeah, you sniffed it out, Nick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I named like 10 people.
Yeah, but that was your second.
Okay.
Yeah, but you went with his first. You did fine.
Well, except that in our chat, he put a question mark after Chance the Rapper and a period after The Weeknd. I should have gone with that definitive.
Right, yeah. It's exactly. I make all of my subtle pronunciations of confidence on my punctuation. You picked up on that. That's good. So we'll know that for the future.
Very clear. All right. Well, round one, question 3. Your category is sports.
Sports.
At 26-6, at the time of this writing, the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays have gotten off to one of the best starts in MLB history. The actual best record by a team in the modern era after 30 games belongs to what team from the 1980s that featured the tandem of Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker up the middle? I will give you full credit if you can name the correct team. I'll give you 2 bonus points if you can name the year.
Ooh, yeah, that's definitely right. Okay, yeah, let's go with that then.
No, let's go with the second one.
Okay. Yeah. Look, you pre-called the answer and then got the year within a second. We're gonna go ahead and lock in, I think.
All right.
All right. So you've gotten yourself a name and a year, and it's over to Troy and Michael. You guys can talk out loud.
All right, Troy, I got nothing. I don't know anything about baseball.
Okay, well, it's absolutely 100% the Detroit Tigers. The year, I do not know. My dad was a big Tigers fan, so definitely remember that. 80s, we just pick a random year from the 80s. I feel like maybe
I like 80.
Mid 80s?
Yeah, like 83 to 87 is a good sweet spot,
Okay.
There's a lot happening then.
Yeah.
Do y'all want me to repeat the question just to make sure you're...
No.
Yeah, let's hear the question.
Let's make sure.
We should.
Sometimes people get lost in words, so I'm going to say, and I also want to call out the Tampa Bay Rays again. At 26-6 at the time of this writing, the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays have gotten off to one of the best starts in MLB history. The actual best record by a team in the modern era after 30 games belongs to what team from the 1980s that featured the tandem of Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker up the middle?
Does that change anything for you, Michael?
No.
The only thing I heard there was up the middle at the end, so maybe it's the middle of the 80s, 1985.
Yeah.
So we'll say Detroit Tigers, 1985.
Sounds good.
All right. They said the 1985 Detroit Tigers. Will and Nick, what do y'all know?
Well, I also thought it was the Detroit Tigers. I wasn't positive on it, but that was our answer. I think the only reason I know that, if I do know it and I'm right, is because he came back and managed them, and that was news that he was managing his former club, which is always cool. I don't think it was 1985, though. I think
who is the
Alan
he
Trammell.
that you're referencing?
Trammell.
Gotcha. Just for everybody else to know, because there is a incomplete reference there for you.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, Alan Trammell came back and managed the Tigers, and I thought that was cool. And although everything great that happened in the history of the world happened in 1985, the greatest year in the history of our universe, I do believe.
Go ahead.
The Chicago Bears winning the
I don't think any
dominant team of all time. Back to the Future came out. Yes, 1985 is the greatest year of all time.
Bowling for Soup has vetted this for him.
But we said 1984.
Your correct answer is the Detroit Tigers. Good job by both teams.
Nice.
The correct year was the year they won the World Series. Kirk Gibson was on that team, and it was 1984. 1984.
All right.
We should have split the difference. You said 83, and then,
Well, that's the end of the first round. Your score is 22-20. The team of Groves and Dennison has a 2-point lead thanks to their knowledge of the Detroit Tigers. And we're moving on to round 2.
their knowledge.
All right, round 2, question 1. Your category is kids stuff. What is the name of the anthropomorphic nemesis of the evil Dr. Doofenshmirtz in a cartoon created by Dan Povenmire?
Locked in if Nick trusts me.
I trust you because I got nothing, so I have no options.
We're locked in.
All right, Will and Nick are locked in.
So anthropomorphic, so it's not a person, and it's the nemesis of the evil person, so it's the hero.
So it's the protagonist, right? Yeah.
Right. Or I mean, probably.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Doofenshmirtz. My guess is that character probably has a different name on the show. Like I don't know. This is not right, but like something like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, right? But his nemesis would have been Inspector Gadget. So
Trying to think of a protagonist that's a thing or an animal in a cartoon. Yeah, I guess I can think of Peppa Pig. I don't think she has a nemesis, but other than like parents all over the country.
Muddy Puddles.
There was no year in the question, right? It was just the names.
There's no year in the question.
1700s with Beethoven.
Yeah.
Who's the creator again?
Dan Povenmire. Povenmire.
Yeah, I mean, best I got is like Peppa Pig. And that's not good at all. That's really not good at all.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think it's going to come.
All right, locking in with Peppa Pig.
All right, they say Peppa Pig. Will and Nick, what are we all thinking?
They got the first letter right. It starts with a P. I have a brand new machine that helps me create trivial warfare questions. It generates questions for me. I call it the question generator-ator.
Generator-inator.
Generator-ator. But it was destroyed by my arch nemesis, Barry the Platypus, also known as Agent P.
That does ring a bell.
The cartoon being referenced is Phineas and Ferb. Dr. Doofenshmirtz was the villain on the show. He worked for Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. And the correct answer is not just a platypus. It's Perry the Platypus.
Hey, where's Perry?
Perry the Platypus is a correct answer.
Nice job. I've heard of the show, but I couldn't have never.
It is a wonderful show. Really,
it really is.
Really
as far
good.
as kids shows go, it's definitely one to watch.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Honestly, Nick, your kids are still at an age to give it a try. It's really good.
My kids only watch YouTube. They refuse to watch the television, which is great because it means I can watch whatever I want on the TV.
All right, well,
Watch Ferb.
round 2, question 1. Since we did kid stuff a minute ago, we're going to go to adult stuff now. Your category is alcohol. I'm sorry, round 2, question 2. Yes, I'm very bad at numbers and counting. Category is alcohol. Here's your question. The combination of whiskey or bourbon, hot water, sugar, and aromatic spices is typically known by what name that has been regarded throughout its history as a, quote, cure for the common cold, end quote.
You most certainly did not.
On my feed, I did.
Did you really?
Yeah.
On my
Wow.
feed, he beat you as well.
Yeah, really?
Yes,
That's
you're the
so
slow one.
interesting. Okay, we're locked in, and then I'm going to show you my feed.
We believe you. It's just wrong. I'm the one who's on the unobjective side. They locked in. Troy and Michael, over to you.
Yeah, I was just debating how to spell toddy, and in my mind, I was like, is it T-A-T-I? No, that can't be right. So yeah, we said hot toddy, locked in.
Hot toddy,
they
locked in.
They might take away my Kentucky card if I get a bourbon question wrong. So
Outstanding. All right. And Will and Nick, what did you say?
Which one came in first?
It wasn't you, dude.
Wow.
So, we also said hot toddy. Oh, well, I should say I suggested hot toddy, and like 4 minutes later, Nick chimed in and goes, "Oh, I think it might be hot toddy."
All right. Both teams said hot toddy. The correct answer is, in fact, a hot toddy. Good job.
All right.
You're never going to have a team on this show with a more contentious hatred for one another than Will and I. We're going to try hard to win, but man, we're going to be unhappy when the other person does.
I win, and I want Nick to lose. And
Yeah.
It's a really tough combination.
It's so hard to decide.
That's fantastic.
I'm okay with that.
No, I'd love to see how y'all work that out.
I encourage infighting for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to round 2, question 3. Your category is theater.
Theater.
And this question was inspired and partly written by Jeffrey Sigurtans. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you, machine.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, I was going to write something like this question, but Jeffrey beat me to it.
You know, we could call Jeffrey the trivia generator.
The generator, no, it's generator inator. It has to be the inator.
Sorry, generator inator.
Trivia generator inator. All right, Lorna Courtney, the super talented daughter of Trivial Warfare Army member Melody Courtney, recently received a 2023 Tony nomination for Best Lead Actress in a Musical for what Max Martin-driven jukebox musical?
I'm sure. Correct. All right, we're locked in.
Over to Michael and Troy, whose conversation thus far has been impressive.
Speaking of things that are blank.
That was funny.
That's unfortunate because I was just staring at the screen waiting for Michael to type something because I have zero clue here.
Trying to think of a
jukebox musical.
I know there's an ABBA song.
Oh,
yeah, maybe
that's true.
That you might hear on a jukebox. I don't know.
Right.
I just dropped a quarter in the jukebox and it played. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my God! Let it go, Elsa.
But if it won a 2023 Tony, it must be a pretty recent. Well, yeah, I guess it would have to be a pretty recent musical, right? Or I'm not sure if they give away awards for things that have been on for 30 years or whatever.
They might if it's for the role because she's the lead actress.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, like for the new production of it or something. So it could be something like Mamma Mia or.
That's the best I've got.
Okay, yeah, let's go with it.
All right, Mamma Mia.
All right, Michael and Troy say Mamma Mia. Nick and Will, what were you thinking?
I'm thinking that I am also friends with Jeffrey Sigurtan, and I watch his Facebook feed where he congratulated Melody on her daughter's nomination and saying how excited he would be if she won it. The big problem is I think she's going up against a big name in Sarah Bareilles for Into the Woods, but we'll see what happens. But Lorna was nominated for her role in And Juliet.
Never heard of it.
Correct answer and current Broadway hit is And Juliet. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
So jukebox musical just refers to a musical that includes songs that are essentially hit songs that they work into the musical. Like if looking at And Juliet and the musical numbers here, there are songs in that musical by the Backstreet Boys, by Kesha, by Demi Lovato, etc.
Right. So like Jersey Boys is a jukebox musical.
Moulin Rouge, kind of.
Oh,
Moulin Rouge is a movie. Yes.
Is this a musical that takes place during Romeo and Juliet, kind of like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
Okay.
But you guys got the correct answer. So 10 points to Nick and Will. And at the end of the third round, the score is 52-30 with Nick and Will in the lead. Good job.
Yay.
We're Jonathan, just for the record, we're the Nick and Will Army, NWA.
No, you're not. All right, going on to round three. Round three, question one. Your category is literature. Zora Neale Hurston was a popular Harlem Renaissance writer. What book, her most popular, follows the life of its protagonist, Janie Crawford?
Jonathan, our team has the meows.
Oh my goodness! So, are you locking in?
No,
Maybe.
we're just sure.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, no, we're locked in.
Okay, yeah, even though my autocorrect changed it significantly. When I hear Zora Neale Hurston, the first thing that comes to mind is their eyes were watching God.
And is that the answer that you've given?
Yes, I'm sorry. We locked it. Yeah.
All right. First, Nick and Will, what were you thinking?
Similar to Troy, but quite lesser than. He says the first thing he thinks of is their eyes were watching God. For me, it's the only thing I think of. Their eyes were watching God.
I have no follow-up thoughts.
Nick admits that I was first on this one, I think.
Yes, I will give you this one.
The correct answer is their eyes were watching God. Great job. Both teams get the points.
Good job.
All right, round three, question two. Your category is language. Hibernia was the historical Latin name for what current country? It is thought to mean land of winter, even though the etymology isn't perfect.
It's good a reason as any.
We'll go ahead and lock in.
All right, Will and Nick have locked in. Troy and Michael, you guys can talk out loud.
I feel like I've seen this in like one of my like Crusader Kings games or something as a territory name, and for some reason it's like English islands to me.
Okay. Yeah, I said maybe Iceland, but I could have just been the winter thing. So if you have any kind of inkling towards one of the British, the UK Isles or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess between Ireland and Scotland, which one's more wintry? Scotland's got the Highlands and the kilts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that one. That might be the. Well, I don't know. Maybe kilt is kind of bad for the winter.
It's definitely breezy.
Right.
I like Scotland for some reason. I can see it better on the fake video game map in my head.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me.
All right, lock in Scotland.
All right, Troy and Michael say Scotland. Will and Nick, what are you thinking?
Everything I know about life, I learned from Michael Myers' dad on So I Married an Axe Murderer. If it's not Scottish, it sucks. Scotland.
Nice.
Both teams
Nice
said
job, Michael.
Scotland. 10 points to Slytherin here. The correct answer is Ireland.
Oh, really?
Hibernia is
Oh, we chose the wrong
Ireland.
one.
Oh no!
I will, because both of you answered it, I will double check just to be sure.
So I'm talking out loud while you're checking. I actually have no idea whether Hibernia is Scotland. I just know that there's at least one, if not two, Scottish Premier League or within that system teams called Hibernia. So I assumed it was Scotland based on that.
Yeah, so it is absolutely Ireland. Hibernia is the classical Latin name for Ireland. The name was taken from Greek geographical accounts. And it is the classical Latin name for the island of Ireland.
Sorry, Nick. That's on me.
That's fine. Latin for Scotland is Scotia, which I guess makes sense.
I was super rooting for Michael and Troy to catch up 10 points right there, because Michael had a beat on it.
Turns out it was too cold for the kilts.
Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
You know what? That makes sense because there's another club in Scotland called Celtic, which is obviously Irish. So for whatever reason, they've got a couple clubs named after Ireland.
It's funny
Jealousy,
that
probably.
came up in the last game. There was a question related to the word Celtic, and somebody was pointing out that they thought it was Scottish because of the team name being there. And I was like, no, the Celtics are definitely Ireland as a concept. All right, round 3, question 3. Your category is television.
Televisiones.
Ooh. The Vow was a 2-season documentary series started in 2020 and tracked the details of what office cult, whose name resembles a Roman numeral and is a homophone with a popular 24-hour heartburn medication.
Oh, I got the meow meows.
Oh, and meow meow! All
Thanks,
right.
my heartburn.
You guys ready to lock in?
Yeah,
Troy
we'll
and
lock
Michael?
I'm good with that, sure.
All right, over to Nick and Will.
All right, name heartburn medications.
Prilosec. I don't know. Mylanta. Is that heartburn?
Mylanta isn't. I don't think so. I take Prilosec.
Right.
I've taken Nexium.
Tums.
Those are all. I guess they're all over the counter. I have no idea. I've never seen the show. I've never watched it.
So it follows an office cult that looks like a Roman numeral and is a homophone of a heartburn medication. So what words can we make out of Roman numerals? M-I-M?
Does it have to be a word?
M-I-X? Mix? M-I-X?
Mix is the highest number you can make out of Roman numerals.
Okay, I'm just thinking of words that you can make out of those letters.
Livid is not actually a Roman numeral, but it's using Roman numerals. I mean, there are plenty of words you can make out of Roman numerals, but not if you're making them actual Roman numeral numbers.
Right, exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, let's pick one that's a homophone with a heartburn medication.
I don't know very many heartburn medications. That's the problem. Are you looking for the medication or for the actual Roman numeral, the name of the cult?
When you pronounce it, it's the same. So whatever answer you give is going to be both. It's a homophone.
Right. Prilosec, there's no P in Roman numerals. Nexium, and there's no E. NX would be Nex. IVM.
Nix. That's a flea medication.
Nix is
Not very helpful.
I don't know. Let's go with Nexium because you can eliminate the vowels and it still sounds the same if you just use the Roman numerals. And I know for a fact that it's a heartburn medication because I've taken it.
I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but we're gonna lock in with that.
That's fine. It's better than Prilosec, which is what I currently take every night.
All right.
Because
I've never been more upset that I don't get heartburn.
Yeah, I'm covering you with my 2 that I take.
All right, so you've answered.
Yeah, we said whatever you said, Jonathan. That right?
Nexium.
That's what we said.
All right,
Nexium.
Nick is saying Nexium. Michael and Troy, over to you.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, heartburning even. Nick was totally right. NXI, I think it's NXIVM to make Nexium. I listen to some non-trivia podcasts, so you hear about this creepy stuff sometimes. And there was like an actress caught, like Allison Mack, I think, was caught up in it. But yeah, that's Nexium, the cult.
Correct answer is NXIVM, which if you look at it visually, you can see how they get Nexium, not from Roman numerals of any sort, just by looking at it, and visually the V looks like a U.
Yeah.
The I represents I, and NXIVM, it looks like it. It's not a valid Roman numeral. The question said resembles a Roman numeral.
Okay.
Yeah, so the correct answer is Nexium. Good job by both teams. Really
Sometimes
good.
it's better to be lucky than good.
Points for my heartburn.
Man, I swear, I thought for a second y'all might go Tums, and I was like, this is not terrible. Tums or
good answer.
Rolaids or
Right.
something like that. No, that's a good job out of y'all.
So you start doing the Pepto-Bismol dance, right?
Yes.
Heartburn, indigestion.
Upset stomach, diarrhea. Yeah, that's the end of round 3. The score is 72-50. Nick and Will are in the lead, 72-50. We're going into your midpoint, and your category is science.
Science.
Oh, nice. The cathode in an electric car battery is typically made up of what 4 elements that are represented by the atomic numbers 3, 25, 27, and 28. I will give you a hint. Nexium is not one of the 4. Yes. I don't care how you spell it.
Nick, do you know the atomic number for Beethoven?
I believe that's dun 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 dun.
Jonathan, do you care if we match them up with the numbers, or we're just giving you 4 answers?
You're just giving me 4 answers.
Okay.
I don't think that's accurate.
Nick, of your last 2, I like the second one better, and I'm fine with locking in those 4. But I'm also fine with the first one that you listed there.
You can pick. I don't believe either one of them are right, but they're both right there at the.
Well, I got to say, given that one of them has a question mark and the other one doesn't, so I feel like we should follow along with that.
As if you want to stick with the random punctuation guesses, that's fine. All right, we're locked in.
Michael and Troy, y'all have 30 seconds to finalize your answer.
All right, so lithium for sure.
Yeah.
That's the easy one.
That's a hard one.
I don't know why, but I do think that I've heard cadmium in reference to batteries before.
Sounds good. I like that. And then when I'm thinking about the gunk that builds up on the terminal, I don't know, I'm thinking of like some sort of salt or something in that halogen area.
Right.
Magnesium, something that I was just kind of throwing out as a guess.
Yeah, I like that.
And then the last one?
You had mentioned nickel, maybe?
Yeah, if there's going to be a metal to conduct, I feel like other conductive metals are too high.
Right. And we really have that Beethoven thing going, don't we? Yeah. Conduct. So we'll go with lithium, cadmium, magnesium, and nickel.
Nick and Will, what were you guys thinking?
I messaged Nick that I was pretty sure lithium was one of them, and that was the hard one. He could get the other 3.
Right.
So we locked in with lithium, cobalt, nickel, and Beethovium, but Nick said that was no good, so we went with chromium.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the 25, 27, 28, that's the top row of the transition metals in the middle of the thing, and I cannot for the life of me remember the left side. I know that chromium is over there. I also guess titanium. Will wanted to know which one the ion and lithium ion batteries referred to, and I couldn't figure out which metal that was the reference to, so we ended up going with chromium.
Will is not a science guy.
I'm not a science guy either, but I'm pretty sure the ion in lithium ion batteries is the ion for lithium. So
Well, that's what Nick said.
That's
Like
my
I said,
guess
that's not
there.
helpful.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a missing electron is what that is.
So you had to know a little bit of your periodic table for sure to get all of these right, but there were a couple that you could back into just from general knowledge, and you guys did a decent job of that. Popular types of batteries that you're aware of include lithium-ion batteries. Lithium is correct answer. Another popular type of battery, rechargeable batteries, is a nickel-cadmium battery. The correct answer is not cadmium, but nickel is a correct answer. So nickel and lithium are both correct answers. The other two, you just kind of had to know your periodic table. Cobalt is a correct answer.
Nice.
And the last correct answer is manganese.
Oh,
Manganese.
the wrong M.
And Nick, I saw you react when they said magnesium, and I was like, I think he just realized that manganese is the right answer.
It's the Mn right there in the middle, in between iron and chromium.
Yeah,
that's titanium and chromium are all right there with the iron and everything. I got most of that right. I just missed the important one.
Yep. So the four elements, the cathode of the electric car battery is made up of what four elements? They are lithium, nickel, cobalt, and manganese. And that means at the end of the half, Groves and Dennison have 87, Cooper and Sly have 60, 87 to 60 going into the second half of today's game. Round 4, question 1. Your category is music.
Music!
And movies. Music and movies.
Musical.
Movie cue. The song Colorblind by Counting Crows was heavily featured in what 1999 romantic drama written and directed by Richard Cumble?
I believe it's pronounced Dr. Richard Cumble.
No, it is not.
How many arms did he have?
I assume 2.
Oh, beep. He's not the person on my team. Texted the wrong person.
Nick is so vain. He's created an alter ego named Nikki so that he can text himself and pretend it's a female.
Does it count as cheating? Never mind.
Yes.
Nick.
I know. It's not my fault. It was an accident.
I'm afraid I might have to dock you here.
It's fine. I deleted it.
For what it's worth, Will agrees as well.
I think we have to lock in with that now, given the other information. I'm pretty sure it's right.
No, we'll lock in with that. We both think it's right.
All right, Michael and Troy, you can talk out loud.
Yeah, so I like 90s music. I'm familiar with 90s music. I know the song. I can't get the tune for some reason. But when I think 1999, I think Cruel Intentions.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think of a totally different song in my head.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think Bittersweet Symphony also for that movie.
But it did have a soundtrack, right?
Right. The only other thing that, and I don't know if this has any bearing whatsoever, but didn't the lead singer from Counting Crows, wasn't he like involved with Jennifer Aniston? Would she be in a movie around that time? Like, I don't know if that would have anything to do with him being on the soundtrack or not, but.
Did she do movies before, like?
Maybe she did movies more recently than.
I can't think of one she was in the 90s.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the song sort of rings a bell. I couldn't sing it to you, but the name and the.
Yeah.
You said romantic film, not romantic comedy.
I said romantic drama.
Drama. Oh well, so that's Cruel Intentions. That's that you know, because I watch more rom-coms, I'd say. And Jennifer Aniston, I don't know if she'd be in a romantic drama.
Yeah, I can't imagine she'd be in a drama, right? Like that. Okay, I'm okay with Cruel Intentions. You want to go with that?
Yeah, just because I know it had a whole-on soundtrack. So yeah.
You guys aren't even considering Office Space. That is the year Jennifer Aniston was in it. I just want to throw that out.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It is romantic. There is drama. You're right.
Right.
Yeah, let's go Cruel Intentions.
All right.
Flair.
They've locked in Cruel Intentions. Nick and Will, what did you say?
I'd like, Jonathan, if you could go ahead and check the chat that we have that we're all in for this recording session, and note that Will made me a promise if this answer was correct.
I do see that. I don't want to know anything more.
He told me that I can. You know what? I'm not going to say it. The answer we have is Cruel Intentions as well.
All right, Nick. Now I need a moment of honesty from you because you made an error and you may need to be punished for your error. Are you getting Cruel Intentions if you don't erroneously ask a question to a friend who's not in this game?
Yes, I am.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure. I am positive.
All right.
Look, I always tell.
I feel like I should take your 2 bonus points away for this. This is a
no. That's what we were going to answer.
What does
anyway.
Nikki Bates have to do with 1984?
That was my immediate guess. It was the only thing I wrote down in any of the chats that I was in, and that's what we were going to go with, regardless of what happened.
All right.
And I said that one with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Phillippe, and I didn't know which one it was.
Yeah, I intentionally chose to exclude, not give actors, actresses, because I didn't want it to be a giveaway. The correct answer is Cruel Intentions. And right. Troy and Michael, you guys did, you had like one of the lyrics you said, like it starts with like coffee black or something like that. You're absolutely right. It's like coffee black, egg white. Yeah, it's a really slow tune, kind of haunting, really good song.
Good job, Michael.
Thank you.
Now, room full of guys. I did a sports thing earlier. Now it's time to hit you with the other side. Round 4, question 2. Your category is fashion.
Yes.
While the modern sundress was first designed by Carolyn Schnurrer,
sure,
it was particularly popularized by what designer in the 60s who was married to the grandson of a well-known newspaper publisher?
Oh, was that not a suggested answer, Nick?
Oh, got it. Sure. Let's go with that.
No, he's kidding. We're not locking in yet.
So I don't even know why we bother talking to each other.
I know. Great minds think alike, and so do Nick and I. Do we have any in at all here, Nick, or do you want to just lock that in and throw the dice? It is what it is.
Go for it.
Okay, we'll lock in with what I'm pretty sure is the wrong answer.
Yep.
All right, Will and Nick are locked in. Michael and Troy, you got about a minute left.
Man.
So we know William Randolph Hearst is a guy. He might be the newspaper publisher you're talking about. He had grandkids. I think one of them was Patty. I know that's a name. She was in the news.
I feel like she was in the news, like you said, for something like nefarious or something, right? Like, or I'm just trying to think of like 60s designers.
Like Coco Chanel. She was,
yeah, like Chanel or.
I mean, that's 60s. She's a 60s designer. That might just be better than. And that's someone who would keep their last name too. So if we went, it would be better than locking
That's
Hearst.
true. That's true. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
All right, we'll lock in Coco Chanel.
The team of Cooper and Sly have locked in Coco Chanel. What did the team of Groves and Dennison lock in?
Well, we likewise suggested maybe it was William Randolph Hearst. In fact, I think I messaged Randolph something, and Nick messaged back, Randolph Hearst? I think that's a guy. And then we both said, Patty Hearst. I've heard of her. No idea why. Let's say that.
Right. We think she's related, so it's a grandchild of a publishing magnate. We went with that, Patty Hearst.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I think the only reason I know her is she was referenced in a true crime docuseries or something from a few years ago. Was she kidnapped or murdered or something?
More importantly, was she kidnapped while wearing a sundress is the important piece of information we need.
She could have been not wearing a sundress so long as she popularized it.
Exactly.
For what it's worth, Patty Hearst is the granddaughter of American publishing magnate William Randolph Hearst. She became
all right. We need no further information.
She became well known following her 1974 kidnapping by the Symbionese Liberation Army. She was found and arrested 19 months after being abducted, fugitive wanted for serious crimes. There's a Stockholm Syndrome thought here where she kind of became sympathetic to her kidnappers. But she has absolutely nothing to do with this question. If I said
nothing to do with it.
Absolutely nothing. If I said name two major newspaper publishers from, I don't know, who could have a granddaughter aged in the 1960s, who are the two publishers you're going to name?
Is Pulitzer the other one?
Your correct answer is Lily Pulitzer.
Damn it, I even said that.
Lily Pulitzer. Her original last name was Lily McKim, but she married the grandson of well-known newspaper publisher Pulitzer. That would have been your correct
Pulitzer
answer.
as an answer?
Absolutely. It's her last name.
You said that.
I would have. Hearst was a valid last answer. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
I still think my guess of Leslie Times was a good guess.
Oh, God. Really?
By the way, something that Jonathan said earlier, that the team of Cooper and Sly. Am I remembering this right? Isn't there like a video game called Sly Cooper?
There is. Yeah, it's the raccoon.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Changing your team name in the metadata to Team Sly Cooper.
It's like a raccoon that you. I think I may have played that game.
I had a coworker. I worked at GameStop, and he would ask me every day, "Hey, Sly, you ever play that Sly Cooper game?" And I'm like, "No, dude, no, I didn't."
Oh, I love it. All right. Well, neither team got credit for that one. I was like, nobody seems to be like just naming well-known publishers here, and that is the easiest way to get to that answer. But alas, it wasn't to be. Your round 4, question 3 category is quote unquote essential.
Essential.
There are all types of essential oils. Which oil, named after a plant and is one of the most popular and best-selling of the essential oils, shares its name with the first name of a minor character in the Harry Potter book series? It is believed to have antioxidant properties and can be used as a topical analgesic.
You want to try that word again?
Analgesic. That's what I said.
We're locked in.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow, that was fast.
What did I just say my wheelhouses were?
Weasley's.
Troy
oils.
and Michael, you guys could talk it out.
Well, I'm thinking Harry Potter minor characters.
Right.
That might not be the right angle in, but I know lily is a plant. I've never heard of lily essential oil. I know lavender is a plant.
Mm-hmm. I know that. Thinking of essential oils, the only ones that I can think of are like tea tree oil. I don't know if there's a tea tree character, or peppermint oil. I think peppermint's really big.
Peppermint. Now, topical analgesic. Like, what's, you rub on muscle soreness.
Right.
Eucalyptus would not be a name of a Harry Potter character. Menthol.
I'm trying to think of think of the analgesic route, like Aspercreme, Bengay, that sort of thing.
And what's in there?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. What's actually in it?
What could be a name even? I mean, it's J.K. Rowling. Anything could be a name.
Right. Minor characters. Dobby.
Victor Crumb.
We could probably go all day doing this.
Yeah. My best guess is lavender. Even though I can't think of a Harry Potter character named Lavender. It's a plant that could be a person's name.
You know what? That does sort of ring a bell as a character. Lavender.
It's a popular essential oil.
Yeah. I like that.
All right.
If we get this wrong, my wife's going to be really mad at me because she's a pharmacist. And a huge Harry Potter fan. So.
All right.
Let's go for it, though.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll lock in lavender.
You guys are saying lavender. Nick and Will, what were you all thinking?
Being on this side of the game, I was like, at least we're not playing Jonathan and nobody's just going to back their way into an answer having no idea what they're talking about. This is good. I don't have to feel that this time. Nick, go ahead.
I literally just said my wheelhouses of trivia are Harry Potter and musical
and asking
theater.
Nikki for answers.
Yeah, that's also it's a good strategy. You should try it sometime. Seamus Finnegan's date to the Yule Ball also used a love potion on Ron during their brief relationship in the 5th year. The correct answer is lavender brown. Lavender.
No, lavender
is an essential oil. Lavender is what we went with.
Lavender is the correct answer. It is one of the most popular essential oils, near the top of every list. Good job. Both teams get it. And that's the end of the 4th round. The score is coming out 107 for Groves and Dennison to 80 for Team Sly Cooper. 107 to 80.
That first team was NWA.
No, it was Groves and Dennison. Absolutely not. 107 to 80. We're going to round 5. Round 5, question 1. Your category is television.
Television.
One actor who passed away in 2023 is perhaps best known for his recurring role in the John Wick movies. His role is Philip Broyles on the TV show Fringe, and his role is Cedric Daniels on The Wire.
Yep. We're all over it.
What's funny, you guys could all be on one chat together, and you would both be exactly as close as you were in separate teams.
Yeah.
I can see him in everything. I just can't think of his name.
I literally just pulled his name in my head. I'm like, oh, Cedric Daniels. Wait, that's not what we're trying to come up with.
I gave you that name.
I know.
I just this morning Googled who died this year.
Oh my God.
Ooh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's go with that. That does sort of ring a bell.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We're locked in.
All right, Will and Nick, you guys can talk out loud.
Oh, it hurts.
How do you feel about Cedric Daniels?
Oh,
You got him again.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, Nick. I love you and I hate you at the same time. I do think it's something like Lewis Riddick or Lance Riddick or Reddick. But I don't know if it's Riddick or Reddick that I'm trying to think of.
Did they make a movie?
Right.
They made a movie about him, The Chronicles of. Wasn't Lance Reddick a shooting guard for the Duke Blue Devils?
I don't know.
I have no.
His great grandfather was in King Arthur's court, I think, right? Lancelot.
Yeah. I got nothing on this. I can tell you exactly what he looks like, but I can't put a name to a face. So whatever you want to lock in with. If you have something that flashes in your head as being right for whatever reason, then go for it.
I think Lance Reddick is closer than Lewis Riddick is. Let's say Reddick, and it is what it is.
Okay.
Reddick.
All right, Will and Nick are saying Reddick. Troy and Michael, what were y'all thinking?
Something very similar. We also locked in Reddick, and I remember specifically that it was the same as the basketball player, but maybe not the same spelling. I know it's
this is insane.
Yeah.
JJ
Reddick.
JJ Reddick. Yeah.
So I was like, wait, that's right.
JJ Reddick is the basketball player. There's no question about that.
There, just so you know, there is a broadcaster named Lewis Riddick.
Oh, that's where that.
And he's a shaved head black man. But there's another shaved head black man who happens to be the correct answer, and his name is Lance Reddick.
Holy
Both teams got it right.
Wow.
The conversation
Michael.
around the same time, y'all started like Troy. I think you were first. You're like Lance. And then like maybe 20 seconds later, Will I think Will's like Riddick. I'm like, oh my God, they're all over it. Oh my God.
Once again, if the four of us had been one team, it would have been exactly the same chat.
It would have been the same conversations. It was incredible.
That's amazing.
Michael was saying, I recognize him from Lost, and I was like, oh yeah, now I definitely know who it is.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's how I know him too. Yeah.
No, that was fantastic. I enjoyed every bit of that.
I can't tell you how many times I thought Cedric Daniels, and I thought I was right. At least twice.
Well, I remember because he was the voice for Commander Zavala on Destiny 2, and like when he died, a bunch of the players went to the spot where his character is, and they just kind of paid tribute and sat around.
Oh, wow.
I do remember seeing that article.
And his family posted like, you know, how heartfelt, you know, how touched they were by the Destiny community coming together after his death. So I knew it.
Yeah, and this was recent. This is like a month ago. Maybe a month and a half. It was March, I think. So good job. Both teams get credit. Well done.
That's amazing.
I was really hoping you guys were going to say Riddick.
Yeah.
And
Boy, I was hoping that they weren't.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to do was parse whether or not Riddick is a right
Reddick
answer.
versus Reddick.
Oh my God. I was so happy when he said Riddick. Reddick.
Consciously debating between them. It's one thing if we just say the name, you're like, oh, I was right.
Right,
like we're
exactly.
Making a choice between them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous... never mind.
Round 5, question 2. Your category is music.
Music.
What trio with a platinum album named Crushin' had members with the nickname Prince Marquis D, Cool Rock Ski, and Buff Love?
You say those three names again?
I sure can. Prince Marquis D, Cool Rock Ski, and Buff Love.
Butt love?
Buff Love.
Oh, Buff. Okay.
Yes.
That's bad eyesight.
No problem. Butt Love was their second album.
I'm not sure how that helps. I'll concede your point, but I don't know how that points us in any viable direction.
I'm not necessarily saying it's the gateway to the answer. I've learned that you don't not share thoughts because it
Sure.
might inspire something when you have a partner who's not a jerk.
Well, bad news. Was it 3?
It's not that. It can't be.
I think you're thinking of the Godfather movies, Nick.
You just stole my joke, Ron. It's like a Seinfeld episode.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason I remember that piece of trivia.
Probably.
It's because of that association.
You got to have something to hang them on, man. If you have a piece of information you can hang another piece of information on, it's so much easier to remember.
Yeah. Yep. That's also definitely not correct, but I like where you're coming from.
That would be amazing.
Great. Now that's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the episode. I got nothing. I'm ready to move on. I literally cannot. I'm not going to be able to pull anything here.
Yeah, I like your answer, Michael.
And then if he says be more specific, we'll just have to think of the first name.
I'm pretty sure we'd have to get more specific.
I can tell you now, you must be more specific.
Or did they
No,
say
Will.
like rap group?
The hip hop gentleman. You want to just lock in with that last answer?
Yeah.
Okay, we're locked in.
Okay, so we're both assuming 80s hip hop, 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
I don't think it's 90s.
You got like 1 minute, Nick.
It could be 70s even.
It's not NWA. It's not Public Enemy. There's more than 3. It's probably not Salt and Pepper. The Sugar Hill Gang.
I don't know how many are in there.
I have no idea, but yeah, I'm not.
I can't imagine their album went platinum.
I mean, all it
That's
takes
a big
is
part
one.
of it. We don't know it. I'm fine with the Sugar Hill Gang.
Sure.
Yeah, it is what it is. We don't know it.
All right, we'll lock in with the Sugar Hill Gang.
Black, the white.
Michael and Troy, what was your answer?
Yeah, we weren't real confident with this. If my first thought was Naughty by Nature, but I still think that might just be 2 guys. Another one that came to mind was the Ghetto Boys, so we went with the Ghetto Boys.
It's going to be 10 points to Slytherin. Michael and Troy, y'all came closest. If I give you the audio clue of does that get you anywhere?
No.
The hit song, the hit. Yes, that's a hell of a good drum beat by Will
really
on his
good.
desktop. Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. With a
skills,
hit
though.
song Wipeout that sent crushing platinum, your correct answer with your blank boys is the Fat Boys. Y'all all forgot the
What you
Fat
gotta do when they
Boys.
come forward, you oh wait, that's Bad Boys.
That's Bad Boys. That's different.
I can totally see them now. The video, they're bigger guys. Yeah.
And it's definitely not Onyx.
No,
I really wanted to say NWA just for
bro. Michael said blank boys. Ha ha. I'm like, just fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, I know BC Boys is a trio. This is the names that the BC Boys would use, but I know it's not them. And so we're like, okay, maybe BC Boys, Ghetto Boys, blank boys.
These guys,
So frustrating.
it's Mark Morales, Damon Wembley, and Darren Robinson were Prince Marky D, Cool Rocky, and Buff Love. They went on and made a movie called The Disorderlies. They were the Fat Boys.
Wow.
Okay.
Totally underrated rappers from the 80s. I'm so disappointed that nobody got that. Round 5, question 3. Your category is video games.
Video game.
The original arcade version of NBA Jam, released in 1993, featured what 2 players representing the Chicago Bulls at the time?
I hate your answer. I think we should go with mine.
I just saw your answer. Yeah, yours is better.
Yeah,
Jonathan, did you give a year in the clue?
I did.
1993?
I said 1993 is when the video game the arcade game came out. That's right. Will doesn't live far from Chicago. This is a hometown question.
right.
All right, we're locked in.
All right. Troy and Michael are locked in. Nick and Will, you can talk out loud.
originally, when we started talking about this, is Jordan and Pippen. That was the answer that I gave. Will immediately followed up with, absolutely not. It's definitely Michael and Scotty. And then we both went, wait a minute.
Right. Is that too easy?
It's too easy. That's a dumb question. We think Jonathan is smarter than that. So if it is Jordan and Pippen,
we at least think he had a guest writer.
Right. If it is Jordan and Pippen, then we are correct we are incorrect in our assumption that Jonathan's not an idiot.
I'm not smart enough to follow that train of thought, so I don't even know if I've been insulted.
So then we started talking. Wait, okay. So 93 was when it came out. When was the years without Jordan? The back-to-back Houston Rockets championships without Jordan on the Bulls. And we said, I think it was 93, 94. Will then came back and said, no, they won the championship in 93. But that was the 92, 93 season. So if it came out late in the year, this would be the first year without Jordan. I think that he wasn't in the first one.
Okay, so let me say something real quick and see if it changes your mind. I believe that when he retired, it was in the later half of the year, because I went to the Garth Brooks concert with my parents in Chicago the day that he retired. And I think it was even October that he retired.
October of 93.
Or 94. I need to be sure on the years, but either way, I think it was in October.
He started the season and left the team in the middle of the season? No, he finished the season and then retired.
I think he retired like weeks before the season was about to start.
When does the NBA season start? I thought it started
December, doesn't it?
I thought it was September. It's definitely not December.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, the finals are in like June.
Okay.
Right?
Let's do this. Let's lock in Scottie Pippen, and then we'll work on the other side.
Okay, so
it's definitely Scottie Pippen.
One idea that I did have is Tony Kukoc. He was supposed to be the next big thing. They drafted him during the first championship run, and then he and that was a big breakdown between the GM and the players.
I need you guys to come to an answer.
All right, so you want to do Pippen and Kukoc was the twosome from NBA Jam?
I think Jordan and Pippen is too easy, so I think Pippen and Kukoc is a better answer.
I agree with both thoughts. Let's lock in with Pippen and Kukoc.
All right.
Well, we also thought Jordan and Pippen was too easy, but we went in an entirely different direction.
Yeah, so we ended up looking, kind of thinking about it for a little bit, and we kept Jordan there, but then Michael suggested maybe Dennis Rodman. Felt like an NBA Jam kind of guy. So
he's got that NBA Jam flair. Like, he's on fire.
So that's what we went with.
We literally got 4 different names from the two of you. The logic here of Michael Jordan retiring is good logic. He retired October 6th, 1993.
Told you!
Late in the year. So Michael Jordan was not in the arcade game NBA Jam. The correct pairing of Chicago Bulls, because this is still the original team that three-peated, was Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant. Nobody brought up Horace Grant, the third best player on that three-peat team. This is before Kukoc. It's before Rodman.
Right, it's pre-Rodman.
Yeah, as pre-Kukoc.
That was... Yeah, it was. We discussed Rodman as a possibility, and then discarded it because it was pre-Rodman.
Your players on that team were your other two guys. So it was Grant, Pippen, Jordan, Bill Cartwright. Luke Longley might have been there in '93.
Luke Long was on the second team.
Okay, Cartwright, and then you had like your B.J. Armstrongs and your John Paxsons and your Gil Hodges and that group of guys. So anyway, the correct answer was Pippen and Grant. No points awarded for NBA Jam. That was devastating.
But you know what? I knew that Michael Jordan retired in October of 1993.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We are not on fire.
You are not on fire.
Rolling up
gone cold.
All right, at the end of the 5th round, the score is 117-90. Groves and Dennison have the 27-point lead. Going into round 6, this is the hardest round. I'm looking for you guys to really do well here. Round 6, question 1. Your category is science.
Science.
What is the word from Japanese origin that is described as a violent type of mud flow composed of a slurry of pyroclastic material, rocky debris, and water that flows down from a volcano, typically along a river valley.
That's my best guess. And it's definitely correct. It just might not be what Jonathan's looking for.
Very helpful.
Those two things are linked together in my head for some reason.
Because of your 21st birthday, I know.
Is that what it is? Okay. I've got literally nothing. I cannot help you here. If that's it, that would make it a very good trivia question. I say we lock in with that. We're not going to get it.
That feels like waving a white flag, but all right.
Yeah, 100% waving a white flag. We'll get him on the next one. Live to fight another day.
All right, are you locking in, Nick and Will?
Yeah.
Emphatically.
Yep.
All right, Michael and Troy, you can talk it out.
The best I got, I know pyroclastic relates to lava and volcanoes. I don't know if what the etymology of lava is, but maybe it's Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best we're going to go with. We're kind of at a loss here. You want to just go with that?
Sure, yeah. Lock in with lava.
I doubt it's right, but we'll try it.
All right, they've locked in lava. Nick and Will, what are you guys thinking?
So at the beginning of the show, I told you one of the interesting things about me is that I am a ninja. That's not a joke. I've been training in ninjutsu for a little more than 12 years now. I have a second-degree black belt in it. I do speak a little bit of Japanese, but not much. I know that in Japanese, fire is ha. It's also ka, K-A, and earth is chi. And when I was pointing those things out, Nick suggested hibachi. That's a Japanese word. And we're like,
it's a Japanese word that has fire earth. So that's what we went with.
So we locked in with Benihana. Oh, I'm
sorry.
All right. So one team said lava, the other team said hibachi. I did look up the literal meaning of hibachi to see what it was. It is fire bowl.
Wow.
Fire bowl is hibachi. Which is a pretty good answer. It's not bad at all.
I thought I was very happy with that as a wrong answer. Like, we knew it wasn't right, but we had a lot of logic that made sense.
I want to know
if lava's Japanese.
Yeah, I want to know if lava is a Japanese word.
It's not.
It does not appear to be, no.
Darn.
Oh, well.
But the ha part, once again, comes into play. The correct word is lahar. Lahar. When you see a giant wash of water and debris and lava and all the rest of it crashing down a river valley, that is called a lahar.
Nick, I can say definitively that we spent too much time on that. There was zero chance I was ever pulling that.
You know what, though? That was our answer was a good, solid, wrong answer.
Nothing wrong with it.
I'm proud of it. Yeah.
It was no lava, but you know.
Yeah. 2 letters off. Okay.
Right. Yeah. You only had. Yeah. If you replaced the B with an HR, you're there.
You're beautiful. Round 6, question 2. Your category is sports.
Sports.
The NFL draft was last weekend, and the Carolina Panthers were picking first overall for the second time in team history. They selected quarterback Bryce Young, who played college ball in the state of Alabama. One player who also played their games in Alabama was the Panthers' pick in 2011, the last time they had the first overall pick.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep.
Almost positive.
Yeah. Every time you type something, I'm just going to agree with it.
It looks like Will and Nick are locking in with hibachi.
Which I like. I like going for it. Nobody, whenever somebody says, hey, let's go to Benihana's, my answer is going to be absolutely.
That is pretty damn good. I think I'm going to suggest Japanese food for dinner tonight.
From the fire bowl?
Yes, I want a fire bowl.
Sorry.
We're locked in.
I didn't think that Cam Newton went to Alabama, but he could have played his games in the state of Alabama very easily.
He played for Auburn?
Yeah. That's in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
right, we'll go with Cam Newton.
Locking in.
All right, you guys are saying Cam Newton. Nick and Will, what were you thinking?
Will initially said can. He then, I assume that was autocorrect because he then submitted can as his second possible answer.
Then he said can't.
Then he said I give up, and that's what we locked in with.
Yep, they gave up.
Cam Newton, number 1 overall pick, 2011 Carolina Panthers.
Out of the University of Auburn.
which is in Alabama.
Auburn, Alabama, to be specific.
Yeah.
According to the score sheet, the correct answer is Barry the Platypus.
Somebody move that question around.
Which absolutely means the score sheet is broken. But you're both getting full points for your answer of Cam Newton. Good job.
All right. You know what my favorite part about the score sheet that was created? So the score sheet that pulling back the curtain a little bit for everybody listening at home, the score sheet that is used by all of the hosts of Trivial Warfare was created in tandem by Will Gilbert, Bing Cow, and Nick Groves on a poker night where we only had 3 people. And
I'd like to say thank you. We pick on it a lot, but it's really awesome. And thank you to all 3 of you.
While we were creating that score sheet, which basically does all of the scoring automatically.
It's really good.
All you got to do is click a button and it does all the scoring for you. We basically made a lot of decisions that night in order to idiot-proof this thing as much as possible so that no matter what anybody using it would do, it could not break. We are on the 11th version of this that I have given copies out to everybody else because they keep breaking it.
I'd like to point out that as a person who does a lot of work in spreadsheets, I tried to fix the sheet here to work perfectly today, and it's locked. And so I could not update the formulas to be the correct formulas for this thing to work. However, because of my knowledge of spreadsheets, I was able to open up the actual scoring section and add bonus points earlier, which apparently you guys think you can't do, but you absolutely can, which is lovely.
Yeah. The sheet allows for bonus points.
Oh, Nick does not hate the bonus brigade. Wow.
No, he does. He does.
Oh, no, that was something that Bing and Will.
It was a Will and a Bing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Your last question of the game is probably the hardest unless you spent some time in Canada. Your category is history.
History.
The Right Honorable Sir Whom, that was known by the nicknames Old Tomorrow and the Old Chieftain, was the first Prime Minister of Canada. He served from 1867 to 1873, and then again from 1878 to 1891.
Is there a question in there?
True. Yeah. Who was the first Prime Minister of Canada is the question.
I mean, that wasn't asked.
That was
inferred.
No, I said whom. Whom is the question. There is a question.
Do you know the national cheer of Canada? The Canadian national cheer.
Is it run away? Run away?
No.
No.
That's France.
Give me a C, eh? Give me an A, eh? Give me a D, eh?
That's really good. That's really good. I like that one. The Right Honorable Sir Whom.
Oh, that's why it nurses the question. I thought that was the guy's name.
That's what I.
No.
Yeah.
All right, we'll lock in with an answer.
Troy and Michael have locked in.
Is that all of them?
I mean, there's also Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island.
New Brunswick? Is it Brunswick? That would be, no.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if it is, it would have to be a Western province because assuming that Canadian history follows roughly with American history, and I don't know that, but if he was the first prime minister, I would think Ontario was already there. I would think Nova Scotia, well, obviously the land was, I would think Ontario was already a province. So the question is, did the Western provinces get named later? And if so, were they named after him, like Washington State was, for example? That was my thinking.
Sure. The Western provinces are British Columbia,
right?
Alberta, Northwest Territory, and the Yukon. That's all I got.
Northwest Territory is a good name. Do you think it's like Joe Northwest Territory?
That seems most likely, but
or Joseph. It's probably Joseph.
That's okay, right? Because it was olden times.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nunavut is definitely not right.
Right. Did you know
Saskatchewan, Manitoba,
that the state of Michigan touches every Great Lake except Ontario, and the province of Ontario touches every Great Lake except
for Michigan? Right. Well, Michigan's the one entirely within the United States, so it would be tough for a Canadian province to touch it.
Just saying, that's a cool fact.
Yeah. I got nothing. What about what bodies of water? Hudson Bay.
Hudson. Yeah.
Hudson's not a prime minister. Not the first prime minister.
Superior.
Yeah. Erie.
Need you guys to come around to an answer.
So do we. Let's go with Labrador. I got nothing. Pick whatever word sounds right to you.
Well, I mean, Albert comes from Prince Albert.
Prince Edward probably comes from Prince Edward.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. New Brunswick.
Yeah, Sir Brunswick. There we go.
Sir Brunswick. Yeah.
The Right Honorable Sir Brunswick.
The Right Honorable Sir Brunswick.
Is that your answer?
Oh, hang on. There
Yeah.
was a guy, an early Canadian. He was very much against an income tax. He wanted everything to be based on like excises. Like you buy something at a store and you pay a tax. So his surcharge. I think.
Surcharge. Yeah. Okay. Done. Lock it in. The Right Honorable Surcharge.
I saw Jonathan's face bracing for that. Like, he saw the windup and he was cringing for like 10 seconds straight.
Like looking at the screen, it's like all of us were just waiting for it. We're just like,
that is so funny. You're absolutely right. I'm like, oh God, what is this gonna be? What is this gonna be? What madness is this? All right, you guys say surcharge. Troy and Michael, what did you guess?
being the Canadian history scholars that we are, we had no idea. But the Sir clue, the only Sir that I could think of, and I don't even think he's Canadian now that I think about it. He's probably British, but you always hear about Sir Walter Raleigh. So we went with Sir Walter Raleigh.
Ah, all right. Believe it or not, there is cluing in this question.
It was Michael Whom. Whom was
It's not good cluing. I'll just tell you, I wanted to ask a question where you had to name the first Prime Minister of Canada. I think this is a valid thing for trivia. Never asked it before. I was like, I want to write this question. It's like, well, what can I do to give them a direction here to help, just the slightest bit of help, right? Because it's the kind of thing you probably got to know. But, he had some nicknames. Okay. Well, let me throw the nicknames in there and see if they help. Because their nicknames were Old Tomorrow and Old Chieftain. Correct answer.
Old Yeller?
Old MacDonald. John A. MacDonald is the first Prime Minister of Canada.
I feel like I've heard that.
Contrary to popular belief, he did not have a farm.
Old MacDonald had a goose.
Yes, John A. MacDonald was both the first Prime Minister of Canada and then served again soon after for another term 5 years later. He passed away in 1891 when the last term ended there.
That's a woof here.
It's all right. There's a woof there, too. All right. At the end of the sixth round, the score is 127-100. Nick and Will have a 27-point lead going into the gauntlet. And your gauntlet category is Books of the Bible. Books of the Bible is your gauntlet category.
If only we had a devout Catholic on the team. Which Bible? It's an important question. We are locked in with our wager.
All right, we locked in a wager.
Our wagers are locked in. Here we go. Here's your first gauntlet question. And I've titled these categories for the questions, by the way. Your first gauntlet question is in the category of 1 John. According to the book of Matthew, John the Baptist wore clothing made of camel's hair with a leather belt around his waist, and his food was made up of what two things?
Okay. Wait, that's very different.
I know. Half of it's the same.
Yeah, but the first thing is very different.
I think it's the first one. All right, I circled it. We're locked in.
All right, you guys are locked in.
Locked in.
Your second question in the gauntlet is in the category of 2 John. John Henry is the name of a 1994 album by what band, as they made the switch to a full band arrangement instead of the synthesized and programmed backing tracks they had previously used. It was the band's highest charting adult album at the time, hitting number 61 on the Billboard 200.
Yeah, I'm positive.
We're locked in.
All right, Will and Nick are locked in. Troy and Michael.
I'm good with that. Our answer's locked in.
Yes.
All right, great. And question 3. The category is 3 John. Dear John was an NBC sitcom that ran from 1988 to 1992, featuring what actor who recently made a memorable appearance in 2022's The Fabelmans?
I think that's right. Okay. Yep. Locked in.
Rough gauntlet.
Yeah, I'm really regretting our bet. We are locked in.
All right. So going back through your gauntlet, I'm going to ask you for your answers. In the category of 1 John, I asked you to tell me what two things John the Baptist's diet was made up of. Will and Nick, we will start with you.
So I am 90% sure it is Milk and Honey. But then there was 10% of me that thought, wait a minute, is it Locusts and Honey? And I don't know why that sounds right to me, but we locked in with Milk and Honey.
All right, Milk and Honey. Troy and Michael, what did y'all say?
The Locust sounds that strikes a bell, because I remember reading about like candied locusts as a Bible appetite, like a Bible party. Anyway,
that's one way to win people to Christ, isn't it? Come enjoy our candied locusts.
We went with
you and I go to very different parties.
Yeah, right.
Come for the candy locust, stay for the religion.
Stay for the dogma.
We just went with fish and bread because the Jesus story.
All right, fish and bread. In the category of Second John, I asked you which band put out the album John Henry in 1994. Michael and Troy, what did you say?
We locked in with They Might Be Giants, just something I think I've seen up on Spotify randomly.
I also think I remember in the question something about children's, or he said first adult album or something like that. And I know they've done some kids albums. Yeah.
Nice.
And Nick and Will, what did you say?
90s music. They Might Be Giants actually did the hot dog song from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse as some of it. I also believe they did a song off of this album in Tiny Toon Adventures, which is why it sticks out so much in my head. The correct answer is They Might Be Giants.
And in the category of Third John, I asked you what actor was featured in Dear John and also The Fabelmans. Will and Nick, what were y'all thinking?
I was thinking that guy from Taxi.
And I said, definitely not. It's Jeff Goldblum's dad from Independence Day. And eventually we came up with Judd Hirsch, so we locked in with Hirsch.
All right. Michael and Troy, what did y'all say?
We said, what is an actor that might be old enough to play that role? Because we have no idea. And we landed on Eugene Levy.
All right. You said Eugene Levy. By the way, Michael, I did love when you asked, what's the name of the old guy in Ocean's 11? It would have been a great guess. That guy was Elliot Gould.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yes, that's the
Elliot Gould is a good age for all of this. It's like, no, that's a solid thought process.
Ed Asner, he was also the old guy, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
at one point there, yeah.
Elliot Gould was the original. In MASH? He was
was Trapper.
Trapper John. Yeah, there you go.
Oh right, yeah.
So let me give you your answers. I'm going to go in reverse order.
That means it's Locusts, damn it.
Third John, the actor who played Uncle Bruno? I think, no, Boris. Uncle Boris in The Fabelmans and was John in Dear John was Judd Hirsch, also the dad in Independence Day and the star of the sitcom Taxi in the early 80s, late 70s. Second John Henry was an album by They Might Be Giants. It was the first time that they moved to an actual band. So the reference to John Henry is that John Henry was a real person, quote unquote, as a legend, but he was a person fighting against machines. And They Might Be Giants was switching from machines to real people in their band.
You know where they recorded that album?
I don't.
In Constantinople. No, this time.
I could have sworn... I could have sworn you were going to say intense.
Same.
I was ready for that answer. And First John in the book of Matthew. So I noticed, I did put in there, he wore clothing made of camel's hair. I don't know if you've ever touched a camel. They're not exactly soft.
No.
Very itchy clothes. He was out in the desert. People thought he was a wild man because of his diet of locusts and wild honey.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Nick.
Locusts and wild honey was the correct answer. Yeah, milk and honey was Israel. The land of milk and honey was Israel.
It was in there. Obviously, it was in there.
Yeah, you know what? Things. Close enough. I give you credit for it, Will. So I think we should add the points on.
All right, so this is going to come down to wagers. Let's start with Team Sly Cooper. What was your wager?
We did the math and figured they could risk... What was it? 26?
26, yeah.
And still win by one, so we added 27 to their score and bet 54. Or bet 54 so that we could beat their 26 if they get it right, and we both get it right.
Absolutely. So you guys finish with 46 points, which means if Nick and Will make a big wager here, then you will still have a chance to win. Nick and Will, what was your wager?
Well, so we did 74 was the number for the lockout.
And I like locking people out. I definitely like locking people out.
Yeah.
But the last 2 times I was on this show, I tried to lock people out, and I missed the gauntlet, and we lost. So we went conservative. We bet 24. Or 26.
26, yeah.
With a final score of 101-46, your winners are Will Dennison and Nick Groves, the team not known as NWA.
Nice job, guys.
Cannot believe you won a whole game, Jonathan, without a Saved by the Bell question.
I don't recall ever asking a Saved by the Bell question, Nick.
That's what he's saying. You should have.
You should have.
I don't think I've ever asked one. Maybe. I don't remember.
That's my wheelhouse.
Good game, everybody. All right, before we go, we'd like to give everybody a chance to do shout-outs and promote causes that they care about. Will, you're on the winning team, so you are up first.
Well, I would like to shout out a particular Patreon. I think everybody that has listened for the last hour and a half or so should go to patreon.com/Trivial Warfare, donate some money. These people...
Trivial Warfare Army.
Warfare Army, I'm sorry. They give you entertainment every single week. You listen to it, you love it, you laugh, you look forward to it dropping. Throw them some coin.
Man, I love that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. So many different shows on that network, too.
Yeah, no.
Everything but things that are blank is worthy of your money.
Right. Listen to the current end of the episode of season 11 of Blitz.
That's right. We have new episodes of Blitz out now, and there will be episodes of Things That Are Blank coming out in the not-too-distant future as well.
Definitely, probably.
Things are moving. All right, Michael, your turn.
Yeah, shout out to my fiance, Lindsay. She's the one who got me into Trivial Warfare in the first place when we were driving from LA to San Francisco, and we needed a podcast for the car. We're both big trivia fans, so she found it out, and I joined the Army from there. Shout out to the Trivial Warfare Army. Do listen to Things That Are Blank Season 3, except for the episode that I'm on. I'm going to make a fool of myself on national radio. Spoilers. Yeah, shout out to, be excellent to each other.
Party on, guys.
Party on, dude. All right, and Troy, we'll finish with you.
Thanks again for having me on. This is always a lot of fun. With the end of the school year coming out, I just want to say maybe a shout out to all the teachers out there. There's a lot of things going on now with education and a lot of legislatures that are, doing some things with banning books and different issues like that. So just wanted to kind of give a shout out to teachers for all the things they're doing and all the things that they deal with. Whatever they're paying them, it's not enough, and support all your teachers.
Outstanding. All right, and that is going to wrap us up. So this is episode number 428 of Trivial Warfare.
Did Nick do his shout out?
Nick doesn't get to do a shout out. He shouts too much.
Gotcha.
Actually, I mean, if he wanted to, he could. You got anything
Nick,
special to say, Nick?
Shout out to NWA?
Absolutely. Greatest trivia team in history. Currently 1-0 as part of the Trivial Warfare Army.
That was intense. All right. For Nick, for Michael, for Will, and Troy, my name is Jonathan. This has been episode number 428. This has been episode number 428 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.